listeners, Harika here, and I'm super excited to welcome you to UppTalk. If you're ready to learn and get your hands work wonders in the world of information technology, then you're in the right place. When I say UppTalk, we are not just another edtech company. Consider we are your learning partner committed to unlocking your full potential. Whether you're stepping into the world of technology for the first time or looking to advance your career, we provide top-tier, hands-on courses to build up your career. Let's take our first step towards learning here and explore it.
Last session, we briefly talked about integration maps, how we can sorry integration attributes, how we can use it. I think we discussed a certain few couple of use cases as well, right? And how we can use it right in real time. I have my integration open. I think this is the same integration that you guys have been building since the beginning of the session. In order to have or to configure attributes in an integration system, first thing that we have to do is similar to the report service. We have to go into our Workday in component, as you can see, which is nothing but the start here. And there is an option called Create Attribute Map Service. If you click on this first, the first icon is the Create Attribute Map Service. If you click on this, then you have to provide the attribute map service name. Keep in mind that this is not the attribute name. Service name is different. The attribute name is different. Service name is nothing but the way how the Workday Studio assembly understands that this is. This is a container within which we have the services. For example, the report service we have used right. This ag underscore report underscore service underscore 8 underscore 1. This is the service name. Now see whatever service name you provide here while creating the service that appears here. This is the custom integration services. Within that, this is a service name. And once you create the service name, for example, let's talk about attribute service. For attribute service, I created the service name as attribute underscore service. Once you create it, you can select different types of attributes, right? Simple text type or reference type, enumeration type. Mostly you will. Normally, most of the time you will use either simple text or reference type. What you have to do is, once you select Add Simple Type attribute, you put the integration attribute name and select whether it is expecting a boolean or a date. Date, time, number, or text. In our case, we will be playing with the type text. When you create this and then when you deploy, it's suddenly after deployment. If you open your integration system, you will see that this attribute service will come up. Then what you have to do? You have to go to these three dots and then go to integration system and configure integration attributes. Once you click that, what you can do is here you will have bypass and this plus button. If you click on this plus button, it will have, you can add one row. In our case, we are using an N. What we are trying to do is that we want to bypass some component inside the studio and or skip some component inside the studio. And instead of being 1 equals to 2, 1 equals to 2, what we will do is based on which tenant the integration is running. We will handle it that way. When you add this row and put the text value here, then this particular row right on top of restricted to environment which means that which all environments you want this value to be restricted to. That means the value of this attribute called bypass will be n whenever the environment or the tenant is either any one of these. As you can see here, except production tenant, I have put everything as n. What I am trying to do here is, if it's a non-production environment, all my logs or whatever async mediation component or logs or store whatever step I want, I will bypass it. But if it's a sorry, I will not bypass it. It's a bypass equals to no. If and then we can add another row, just click on the plus button. Then we can add another row here and there. Here I have put a Y and put production as the restricted to environment. This means in production, whenever the tenant integration is running in production, then only the value of bypass will be n, otherwise it will be y, otherwise it will be n. Is the concept clear what we are trying to achieve here? Is this called a COSH? This functionality. This is called integration attribute. It's integration attributes. Yes. Similarly, now I will show you another example. Let me pull up one of my other projects that I did. Here, what we did was basically we are for this integration. We are actually trying to, integrate or send new hire data or termination data to a vendor. It is a learning vendor. It is a learning vendor. They provide this particular client like different learning content courses. It's a service provider in terms of it's just like LinkedIn and all. We were doing the integration via API. For API, they had client ID and client secret. They had different client ID for their non-production environment and different client ID client secret combination for their production environment, right? And there was few parameters like who is the issuer or other things like the issuer, the endpoint, right? There was a concept called group endpoint. It's all API related endpoint details. As you can see here, all the client IDs and client secrets and everything what we have done is this is the value applicable for production. Why we did that is that like whenever we want to test it right for any debugging purpose or not. It doesn't make any sense to, always go back and update the attribute, update the values of the endpoints or the group endpoints or the issue details and all. We did it in that way. Another possible use case would be this is again another integration where it's a kind of a boomerang integration. If you remember the very beginning, we talked about boomerang integration, which is neither an outbound nor an inbound. That means neither we are sending data to a third party or a vendor system, or neither we are consuming data from a third party, but we are taking the data from our own system, doing some based on certain business rules. We are again updating Workday. In this case, what we are doing is this is like the business requirement was that whenever a new employee joins the organization, initial either 60 days or 90 days or 100 or 180 days, they have their probation right based on certain different region. Basically, this client had offices all across the globe. Different region has the different probation period and they have a thing called pathways. how there is a performance, like after the end of that probation tenure, we have to initiate the performance, not a performance review. I would say it's called self-reflection. Essentially, the process was done on either the 60 days or 90 days or 120 180 based on their probation period. Initially, what was happening? Entire process was manually done. There were reports in Workday which were sending out alerts, write alerts to the admin team members. They are. They were going in, they were either manually doing it or using via through an EB. EIB loads if they were at a certain point of time. If there are more than 10-15 new hats, they are doing EIB uploads. Or if it's one or two, they are doing manually. What we did was we created a studio integration, consumed the reports inside the report. We were checking if the self-reflection has initiated or not. Whether they find a certain coach. Coach is actually responsible for guiding them in the organization. They're everything, their performance, they're all the people management kind of things. The studio integration was same thing. Whatever you guys did, taking the RIS report, consuming it into studio, then splitting it one by one. And if the employee has a coach, well, great, go ahead and check whether the self reflection has already initiated or not. Using a route component which we did. And if there is no coach inside from the route component, just go out and throw an error, log it as an error. If the self reflection has initiated, then fine, do nothing, right? If it is not initiated, then go ahead and call a web service called start performance review. I think I'll start performance request, something like that. I can't remember the name of the web service right now. You push call that web service using a SOAP. SOAP called Workday SOAP, which also we did. Using the Workday SOAP. It is basically hitting the Workday tenant using the web service, passing the employee ID's value at the symbol within closed brackets props, same way we did. And finally initiating the transaction, initiating the review in the BP level. We configured that if once the review is initiated, there will be a notification that will say that an automation has generated your self-reflection. In the next 7 days you will be completing your probation. You have to fill your self-reflection forms and all those stuff. In that we created this attribute service. Why we created it? Because based on certain whether the employee is falling under pathway 60s or 90 plus 1 20 180, there is a lot of calculation that is happening. That business logic that has to be determined before we push it. For example, when we are initiating the performance review based on whether the employee is in which region, whether it's pathway 60, 920, certain date calculation. Like for every start performance, this web service, it takes a start date and end date. That end date was determined by whether the employee is falling under 60 or 90 or 120 80. What we could have done is we could have inside the studio code, we could have written that well, if it's 60, 90, whatever. Instead of that, what we did was we configured it in path in this attribute service, and we are calling the values of the attribute service inside the studio and doing our calculation or the business logic. In this way, we are basically avoiding any chances of any hard coding. Tomorrow, if some logic changes, something changed in this value, right? If this changes, we don't need to update the code. We can update it here. And also we had the template. What template we had to pass right while initiating the web service? Call right. It can for example, this is a check-in template. It can be a year-in-review template or a mid-year review template. We never wanted to have the template hard-coded in the integration, but we wanted to do it inside, like as a part of attribute. Either attribute service can be used to handle it based on environment, like the previous scenario I showed you. Or this can be another use case where you want to make the code smarter, avoid hard coding. This is the syntax that we use. This is the syntax that we use. This has to be the integration attribute name. Do not get confused. Do not pass the service name. Service name is different. Attribute name is different. What I did here was simply use this and assign it to a property. And using that, let's say here I am executing the steps whenever it is equals to y. I have a question. What is the name of the element that contains the evaluation? Because we don't have it on the screen line or no, this is just like this one, right? This is an async mediation. You have to assign. You have to use this code and assign this attribute value to a property using an eval step. And an eval step, you can use it inside an async mediation component. What I did was, I think your studio course doesn't have this one. You are doing directly from start here to call report, right? What I did was before the call or report, I want to get my, attribute names, my sequence generator, my launch parameters, everything sorted. Before the actual processing begins, it's like any programming language we initialize, right? That is what I'm doing here. I mean, you can assign it later as well after the report call. But it's up to you, up to the developer who is creating the integration. Does it answer your question, Pablo? Oh, good. Can you allow us just 1 or 2 minutes to create that? Of course. You will. Definitely will create it. I wanted to. Oh, we will create it later. You will. You have to. Alright. There's no point of showing you everything and let you go. This is integration. Like you can see my remote desktop, right? When we mention Instance attribute, this is used in cases where the attribute type is text. This option simple type attribute. Not text, sorry. It's a simple type. Basically a direct, like if the value of the attribute is a B, C, 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z. But let's say the other example that I showed you, where I was using an object and Workday object, right? Where did I go? This one, right? This is attribute reference type attribute. That means this is nothing, but this is an org type. It's a custom organization. This is not a text field. Here we are actually pulling a reference type attribute. That means this pathway is participating in pathway 60 days. It is actually referring to the custom organization. And this custom organization is assigned to the assigned at the workers organization level. That is how we are determined. This particular client is determining that whether the employee is applicable for 60 days, 90 days probation, 120, 180. Makes sense. Let's say if I would have, I could have handled this using a simple attribute like a text field, right? But there I would have to write this participating in pathway 60 days. Now, tomorrow, if the name of this organization changes from probation 60 days, then I have to again change the attribute here. I don't want to do that. Today, if it is participating pathways, tomorrow, if it is A, B, C 60 days I am referring, I'm taking the reference of that custom organization. If the organization changes its reference, ID changes, its description changes, or its name changes, doesn't matter. It will. It will reflect directly, it will reflect here. My studio, my integration system attributes. We need not to worry. Got it? I have here and I created this test. Now just deploy the value, deploy the class. Oh, it's already deploying. Deploy now. Now just configure. Go to the integration related actions. To 3 dots right. Yes, that's called the related actions. Integration system. The first one, integration system. Configure integration attributes. You can put an N and select implementation. And put another. Put a Y and select production. Now save it. What you can do is, in the after the start here, just put an async mediation. After the start, after the workday. And just delete that arrow, that wire, and rearrange it. Just click on delete, it will get deleted. Now just rearrange it. And you can just hold the swim lane and try to push it a bit. On top of the swim lane, the entire swim lane, I can just push it up. Because it's overlapping to your report. Call swim lane. It's enough, I think. Now in the async mediation, what we need to do? We need to put an eval. Eval the first one. Next, what do you have to do? Go ahead. We have to create the props. The props are the same format like this one. No, not the full one. Just give a property name. Just the name of the property, whatever you want. Give it a name. In NTS essences, INT is integration system. Uh, the same do in the tenant while searching right. Then a dot and get attribute. In all small space letters. Only A is capital. Let's rest all small case. Get attribute. And within a parenthesis, you just put your name of what? The service. It's a simple type. What are you going to put here? This name, this attribute. No. Correct? No. This is the service name. This is the integration service name. Go to your studio. You have to select this. Yes. Just right click on that and you will get a copy text. Just cancel this. Just cancel this. Just copy text and just cancel this. Got it. Now do one thing. You put a log after that. After the eval step, put a log. Put a log and print this property value. This way, right? Create a tag. Yes. You can remove that message content because we don't want to see the message that is flowing. We just want to print the value. I don't remember the structure for it. Then you are all ready. Are you using it somewhere? Any of the logs. I think this one. You and just update the property name there. And this to string. It is the right format. Save it. And wait and go to the put integration message PIM, and it's showing integration begins right. Go to the comment tab. You can use that property to bypass it. This one. Your setup is if it is equals to like, if it is implementation, then the value should be n right. If you don't want the spim to get fired, what it will put in this execute step, when I want to get that trigger, when you don't want to trigger this put integration message, was the one equals to run this. But let's try to use this property that we defined. Write the attribute using the attribute. How can we do that? We can say by pytest equals. Yes, it is production, right? Yes. and the N is implementation, yes. As we are working on implementation, I will say this way perfect just now. Logic is a perfect now. Just put the property, the name of the property. Your logic is absolutely correct. Just do a props. Whatever you selected in the eval, your property name, let me check. Let me just copy and paste it there. This one props, yes, no on the PIM, the next video. Save it, let's deploy it. Let's see rest of the folks. Are you good see after we deploy it? I guess I feel like I might have missed this step, but maybe not. No issues, we'll see. If you can just share your screen, Pablo, just run the report. Sorry, run the integration. And in the meantime, if you can stop sharing Pablo, we can see what John is. Oh, just let me get the result. Let's see if it's working. Nothing. Good. No, go to the message. Go to the message. See the integration begins. That message is not coming up, right? If you see, wait, if you go to the process, your integration name, the integration name on top, this one, just to the three dots. Click on that. That's your integration system. And in the integration, go to the first integration system, integration events. Open it in a new, right click and open it in a new. Oh, integration system, integration events. Right? Just right click and open it in a new one. Just click on open the second one. Open the second one. No, not that the integration event. The third column, third column, this one. The one below, open that, just open that. Click on that now in the messages. Go to the messages. Here, you see, in your previous event, you can see integration begins. This message is coming up. And because you have used your attribute value to bypass the PIM in your current event, go to your second tab. It's not coming up, right? Just click outside, anywhere outside. It will go away. In the message. Now here only one message is there. I just clicked on. That's fine, the message. It's not only that XML output you can see, right? Not that PIM. This is how you can use the attributes and play like. Use it in your processing. Got. Alright, what's up? Sherry. I didn't define bypass underscore test. You cannot have custom data. Go to the studio. First of all, let's open the integration system once. Just click on that. Well, I actually already have it up in here now, and the integrate. Open the integration system, the process, the one that is showing process hyperlink. That is your integration system. Can you go to the integration service, Jake? You haven't got it, you do. You see, you do not have that attribute service right. Go to the studio, open your studio. Go to the Workday component. Click on that. Go to services. You have to create your service. Click on that. Just give it a name. Now select the first to the top right, to the right the first one. Simple type attribute. Click on that and give it a give. Give the name, attribute, whatever you feel like. Select the type as text. Now go to the evil step which you added in the async mediation after that. Is the property? Is the name same? Just verify right. No, the name of the attribute. Go to work, that's right. Go to the Workday in. Go to Workday in the IPs underscore test. Perfect, it should work. And go to the log. Let me see the syntax. Whatever you added in the log. Is the property name same? Fine, right then just save it, deploy it and run it. The error that you were getting, John, was actually when the log was trying to fire. You are passing the value. You are converting the property value using to a string using dot to string function, right? But the property is not having any value at all. It was not getting anything to convert to string. That is why you are getting that error. Where do I set the value in here? You haven't you. Go to the related actions of the integration system. Related actions of the integration system. Then configure integration attributes. The fourth option. Here you put the value like n for implementation. Just click put a yes n for implementation and then in the restricted to environment, the writer next field, the prompt, select implementation and then again click on the plus button and do the same for production, the Y for production. Basically, you mean the attribute value will be yes when it is running in production. It will be n when it will be running in implementation. Tenant. Now click on save it. Run it. Click on the left. You just beat the post on the left. What we wanted. And if you go to the you don't have that PIM message firing right. Your attribute is working as expected. And if you go to integration details, open the log, the server log. Go to the server second one, open it. In the log, did you go to the right? I can see that bypass underscore test is end. Let me see up here. You printed the value and it is coming up as expected, right? Implementation is selected as N, right? That's right. Sounds good. All good. I open the integration system. Let's look at the report. We'll make the report. And I will enable the prompt for the report. Have it open. Here, what we are trying to do is we are trying to understand a business case where report we have to pass a launch parameter to the report. If you go to the prompts tab, and these are this run date, runtime date prompts in the section in the prompt. This is basically, it's by default. It's checking the runtime of the report whenever the report is running. Basically, the report is generating the data based on the latest and greatest data that is there at the point of the integration run or at the point of the report run. For effective date, what we will do is we will take this prompt for effective as of date. And then we will click on this field, populate undefined prompt defaults. And these are in basics of reporting, and we will make it as the XML alias as date. And we'll make it required. That means the user who is running the report must provider. Now we have made the report prompt enabled. Now, when we will be running the integration, then same thing, right? The integration is running the report. When the report needs a prompt date, the integration has to have a launch parameter where the user who is running the integration will provide a date. In that case, there is a service or there is a feature which a studio provides where we can configure the launch parameter for the integration, which and how we can pass that launch parameter to the Workday RS core. How we will do it in Studio. If you see the Workday in component, there is an option called there's in the properties. You see on top of the services, you see launch parameters. Here I have, just because my report will consume a runtime, prompt as date. I just gave a name. Basically, once you come here, you just have to select this simple type parameter. Again, here also simple reference enumeration, all that is there. For our case, we'll take it as a simple. Datey will select date as an option. Save it. Once that is done, then we'll add an in the same eval step. We will create a property called propstate and LP and we'll use this syntax LP get date. That means LP's launch parameter dot get date and pass the launch parameter name. We're using this one. We'll pass it here. And it will. Basically, whatever date the launch data is getting passed to the integration system as launch parameter, we are storing it here. And then the next step is we have received the launch parameter. It is there. We have consumed it in our Studio assembly. Now we have to pass it to the REST component, right? In the REST component. This, if you open your Workday Studio REST component, extra path. Up till this was our default extra path, which got created when we went here. If you remember this plus icon, we clicked on it and this got automatically generated by Studio itself. After that, in order to pass the prompt, we just need to add a question mark, then a date. This date is nothing but whatever this name. If it would have been ABC, I had to provide question mark. A BC equals to, at within curly bracket, the property name. What this will do is, this will take the value from this property in the eval step and pass it to the Workday REST component. That the report gets run as of this particular date or as of this particular parameter, whatever. For example, if you want to pass a cost center, right? Cost center hierarchy or cost center or maybe some department, whatever, maybe your use case. This is how you take it. Take the launch parameter, create the launch parameter, pass it. In the meantime that you are in Word date, can you show how to get to edit the report? Because I missed that step. You just need to search the report, whatever is your name. If you don't remember your report name, go to your studio, click on the report service, and you will have this name of your report. It's under start. We will do it. Pablo, don't worry. Just understand the concept. You guys will do it hands-on. Alright. Now, if you try to run the integration, do an You see, initially, if you remember just now when you ran the integration, it was not asking for any integration. There was nothing called integration criteria, right? But now it is asking for a date. Put a date and run it in. This date will pass along to a studio and to your report. Got it? With this method, we make the date dynamic, not static as we had it. That is the purpose of this, right? Purpose of this dynamic as well as whatever. For example, here we are using date, right? Let's say if I want to, let me open a new tab. For example, let's say if this report, right? It's on worker. Instead of custom report, edit instead of date, right? Let's say you have a scenario where you have to get the report only for a certain geography. For example, cost center. I don't know what kind of cost centers are there here. Let's say alt is just let's say Madrid cost center, right? If you filter it, put the filter here in the filter tab. This will automatically always return data for people who are sitting in Madrid cost center. But you want the user to have that flexibility that the integration should return whatever data, whatever cost center data the user wants to have. Right. You cannot have. If you select this let's say today it's Madrid tomorrow. If it's maybe some cost center in us, you have to go in and update the cost center here. Instead of that, what will you do? You will just do a prompt here and click or select this from the user for value. It will generate a default prompt here. Then if you go to the prompts tab, click on this. you see the cost center gets automatically created, right? If you've selected, save it. Then what you have to do, same in the launch parameter. You have to go back. You have to add another launch parameter here to a plus. Add it here to cost center. Add it here. Put it as a text, right? Then again go back here. I think the syntax is lp dot. Get text for that. And then here in your Workday out rest, it's like after this, again another question mark. Then you have to pass the XML value, which was here. This cost center equals to add the rate. It's like if you want to support the property name, you select it while putting it in eval. You've got my point. Now we pull the information once that is triggered for the specific cost center that you have. Whatever you want. You want their integration to file for Madrid. Fine, while launching the integration, put Madrid or maybe Texas or some Washington DC, whatever call center you want. It not only makes it dynamic, it gives the option to the user to like, for example in Workday, in reports, right? Whenever your user is running the report if you enable the prompt launch parameter, like the run parameters of the report, and the user might run it for this call center, this particular region, this particular department, right? Same thing. You are doing it via the integration. Got it? First things first, we will update the report for now. First, we'll update the report. Let's go to the tenant. Just copy this. This is a report. If you want to open the report definition, always put a RD colon and then your report name. It will not by default run the report. It will give you the definition of the report. Put a column. Click on that. You get your report definition. Now edit the report. Go to the prompt. Go to the prompt option. We'll be putting a date as a launch parameter here on the effective date. Wait, no. Effective date. Select the prompt for effective as of date. Now click on the Populate Undefined Prompt Values checkbox. Just click it once. It will automatically populate whatever the necessary prompts that are missing. In the effective as of date, you can just put date. No. Let it be not the prompt XM alias. The next field. Next one, that is label for prompt, not the XM alias. See, in Workday Studio, we are all playing with the XM alias, right? If you can want to keep it as it is, fine, or you can just update it to date. Remember in previous session, one of the session, I told you that the lesser the XM alias name, the better, faster the execution because the volume of message will be less in the memory. Make it required. Now click on. Save it. There's an error. Let's see. And you will be deleted. Wait, go to the advanced tab. Go to the advanced tab. Scroll down. Scroll down. Today your report definition is will get deleted because a temporary definition right. Can you do a copy of this report? Just cancel it. Cancel it. We'll do a copy of this report before it gets automatically deleted. Just click on the three dots. Custom report. Save it. Just remove the copies. The copy will remove it. Remove it. Save it. Save it. Now add the prompts. Save. Go to Studio. Now that you're using a new report, you have to go to Workday Outrest. You have to update this. You are in here, right? Just select the right. No. Just right arrow to the right, to the right. There's a small arrow to the left of that one. Click on that. Select the new report. Put the name in the report name. Make Studio understand that this is the new report. The last one, I guess. Save. Now go to the Workday Outrest. Can you remove it and run it? Remove it. There's a big R you can see to the right. The rightmost icon. Rightmost. No, not that. The rightmost. Click on that. Got clear. Right. Do a save. Do a save. Control. Now go to that arrow and select the generate the extra path. Now that's it. That's it. Now save it. Now the error has gone away because I don't know whether you have noticed or not in your Workday Outrest component. There was a small red dot on top left because your report is going to get expired today. We have re-added the report. Now go to the Start Here. Go to Workday and Start Here. Let's see the launch parameter. Go to the Evolve. The next one here. Now we have to consume it, right? Expression. Get date. And date was your name of the XML alias. and fun. Now go to the Workday out rest. Before that, print the value. Print the date value in your log. On the log. We all want to see that output. Can be on this same one or has to be another. Just saying. Put an enter after that and add it. With the same format, right? Same format. Syntax. It has been saved. Perfect. Next, let's go to the Workday out rest and pass the launch parameter. The syntax is a question mark and the same as this one, right? This date is the XML alias that is there in the report. And pass your property here. Now let's run the report. Run the integration. Deploy and run. Deployed. Let's go back to the tenant and run the integration. Did you not make the report prompt as required? Don't worry. This will fail. Go to the custom report. The next second tab. Same thing, John, which happened to you in the last time. This error is nothing but we didn't add the prompt value while running the integration. It's required. It's required. Interesting. Here it is. Effective as of date. Why it's not coming up? I'll have to check. Take a look at it. But for the time being, if you can just rerun the report, rerun the integration using bypassing the date parameter. Bypassing the date by launching. Just give a date. Let me check because there was something weird. Asking for. No. Keep it. Keep it. Keep it. Keep it. Keep it. Keep it. I mean just pass. Pass a data value here. And I'll take a look why it's not. Asking for the. Ideally, it should have said that you need to provide a date parameter for launching the integration. I'll take a look at it. got completed. Can I go to the open the server log? You see, on top you see the date getting printed. Below that, you put this one right to enter date right. Whatever date you passed, the studio is actually taking it and running the integration as of that particular date. You got. We can use launch parameters and consume it in a studio. Is that clear? It's just to figure out why. Asking. I, I, I will take a look at it. I will not. I will take a look at it. I will take a look at it after this session because there is no point of wasting time. In this, the rest of the folks, I will be good till now. The next thing is the sequence generator service. What is the sequence generator service? Nothing but it's a service provided by through which we can add sequences to our output file. For now, when you are running the integration, you can see that you are getting an output file called aggregate underscore output a lot. Right. Every time you are running the integration, it is generating the file name. Same file name. Let's say if it's a vendor system where you are trying to push the data. If you are running the integration multiple times, if it's a same file name in your target system, in your target file server, it will override that existing file. Maybe you don't want to do that, don't want to overwrite it. That in order to from the target file to get overridden, what you can do is you can put a sequence like that, an incremental sequence generator provides that kind of flexibility to add sequence. Along with that, it provides where we can put a date timestamp as well. You can put date timestamps, array expression, but always try the sequence generator service to generate date timestamp, month, date, minute, second. There are a certain pattern in which you configure the sequence generator. Workday community provides that there's a difference between a capital letter versus letter. Sometimes it's seconds. Microsoft those differences there. Thus, standard documentation Workday provide Simple. Option. Workday. Service. Fifth. Op. एक sequence. Generate. Service. Click. Similar. Attribute. Provide. Seek. Unders. Seek. Generator. Sub. Underscore. Unders. Sequence. Totally. Attribute. Service. Seek. Consume. A. Send. Load. Parameter. Sequence. Sequence. Search. Property. Actually. Generating. Op. Remember. Type. Do. Right. Left. Aggregate. Unders. Out. Ins. Variable. Me. Sorry. Generated. T. With it. Curly. Bracket. D. Tenant. Relate. Option. Called. Configure. Integration. Sequence. Generated. Click. The best information. What? Think. What? Increment. With. Most. Padding. What? No. Scenario. Sharma. Fine. Of. Underscore. Understand. Of. Format. With. Block. Bracket. Bracket. Call. K. Seek. Let's. Double. Double. Small. documentation, their community. Likewise, for remember everything generate under differentiate bit verse try sequence differentiate bracket let don't treat did remember brackets left already a showing that example left got got it apply from where we will start. We'll start with the workday component. Start here. This I created this wrong. Whatever, just the name. Whatever you want to you put on the eval. Got lost. I'll tell you. There is a the syntax add a row. Give a property name. Let's do it as file name. This one will be file name. File name. Whatever. Doesn't matter what name you put. Instead of get date, you write get sequence value with capital sequence 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 value sequence sequence value name of the sequence of sequence going to be in this case it will be sequence underscore test. Just copy it. Let's do one thing. In the log file, let's print the value for what? Let it be. In any we are generating the file name, we will see there. Keep it as it is. In your leave it. That's not needed. It's not required. Because we will be seeing it in the output file, right? the file name of the final VB. That only. Yeah. Go to the aggregate where you are generating the aggregated output. It's just one moment. I found an error. Shoot. I don't know why. It. Alright. Well, where we have to go, where you are generating the final output file, the output, the aggregated output, this one, in the title. We will pass the value, pass the property. You don't need XML. We will configure the XML in the sequence generator, the extension. Leave that. You just put a within curly brackets. Then put the property name. This way. Right. Where is the prop? The props. Is that the correct syntax? Good. Simple thing. Go to the eval. Look. Go to the eval where we have initiated the property. Just copy the property. Yes, copy it. Go back to your store step. I just pasted it and now cover it with a curly brackets at the beginning, tire props, yes, entire thing. And then put a at the very beginning. Got it now? Now deploy it, save it. Deploy it here. One thing, wait. Here, you see in the details of the collection, you see that sequence service. After the last line, you see an added. Added is coming up. Right. Here also, just for the sake of that, you realize it. Whenever you're adding a new service or changing the contents of a service, it will show up as either updated or added. Got it? Got it deployed? You have to configure the integration service. Now if you open this warning message, it will basically say telling you the same that you have configured an integration, configured a sequence generator service. I've created one, but you haven't completed the configuration, right? Right? That's why you're getting the warning. If you similar to attribute. If you go, you see configure integration sequence generators 7 from the top, that one. Click on that. In the sequence it format, increment the sequence by 1 and in the just give it a name, a file name. In the sequencer, just put a file name, anything, whatever you want, then put an underscore. Then within third bracket write a sequence CQ. Then just put y memed small letter y within small within that bracket. You see here, you see, when you hover on that, you can see the formats, right? Checking the forum for months. Is capital M right? Yes, and date is small d. Just one, do a double D. Load it and put an extension.xml extension. Scroll down. Just tab out. Just what tab out? Just put a click on tab or click outside of that field. Just now scroll up. Whereas I'm not able to. There's an option. Just a wait, I'm just requesting control. You see on right here, file name underscore test underscore 024 0226. Here, basically, whatever you put here, based on that, it is generating a sample, like no file name, that you don't have to run it again and test it whether your sequencing or the date time parameters are coming correctly or not. Here, you can see that. Just now save it. Save it right now. Just run the integration give it. Give it a date per the recipe and for year. See now, initially it was coming up as some aggregated underscore output, right? And the first letter, that is underscore one file name, underscore test, underscore one is your sequence, 24 is your year, two is your month, and 26 is your date. Got it, got it. And now the question on it just came to my mind on why the launch parameters were not coming up as required. Right, what we did. See, there's a thing about reporting. I just cancel it. In our report, this prompt that we set here, it's a default prompt, right? It's basically a runtime date prompt. Even if we have set it as required, it is becoming required for the report. For example, if I try to, let's try to run the report, see it's showing up this red star here. That means it will not allow me to go further without providing the date. But for the integration, it will be the it's taking without the date. The reason being this prompt is the prompt value that is being passed here is going into runtime. Date prompts right. It's an inbuilt prompt for this report, not a custom prompt. Which means, what is a custom prompt? If we would have added a prompt here, like for example, the cost center scenario, I showed you putting a filter here, instead of adding a cost center, frequently used in the selection list comparison type prompt, I'll take the first option. Here, what happens is if we are consuming the prompt and passing it in the filter, then if you select it as yes, selected the required flag checkbox as yes, then the studio will automatically consider it as a required launch parameter. But in our case, we are not passing this prompt for effective as of date to any filter criteria. It is basically going into the custom report's own structure of prompting and generating the data as of that effective date. Right? We are not using it for our filtering purpose. Workday does it on its own. That is why the integration will never treat it as a required field. For example, I will show you a particular integration here. You see this particular studio integration where we have two different date parameters. One is hire date on or after and termination date on or after. That means I want to fetch the employees who got hired after a certain date and same. Similarly, employees who are terminated on or after a certain date. If I show you this particular integration from the tenant level, what will happen is if you open it up. Here you see this integration which I showed you, your Studio Assembly view. This is the front end of it. You see in the Launch Parameters tab, we have two different hired date on or after, termination date on or after. Now, if we go back to the report for this particular integration, the RAS report, here you can see we have the prompts. These are custom prompts from date 1 and prompt date 2. This is the XML alias prompt date _1, prompt date _2. And I am passing this prompt here in this hire date clause. Hire date filter criteria. The hire date has to be greater than equal to on this particular prompt, or termination date less than this. Basically, what I am doing is hire date less than the current moment, but greater than equal to whatever the date prompt the user is passing. Similarly, termination date less than current moment. Current moment means when the integration is running, but termination, but greater than from prompted to, that is, greater than the other parameter field which user is providing. I'm taking the data or fetching all the data within a certain date range. Just because I am using this prompt field inside the filter criteria and selected it as yes, I cannot run this integration without providing the run parameter. Without providing the launch panel. it will throw me an error saying that launch parameters are necessary to run the integration. Got my point, nice? Yes, in this case will be a conflict between the how the report it is configured. Yes, this to effective data entry date. These are delivered. Prompting options, which Workday provides in its advanced reports, where you don't have to pass the prompt values to filter out your data based on the prompt. Workday does it for you own yourself. That is why it is not considering the required field in your integration. But now the question is, then what will happen if the user runs the integration? The same thing, right? That is the same thing, right? Right? You're going to pass it, but you don't want your integration failed, right? You don't want your integration to fail, right? You don't want your integration to fail, right? We don't want our integration to fail. We want a proper error handling to be done right. Always. What do you do best? Is any idea what can be done in this scenario? Bypass it. Bypass it. But if you bypass it, I am running your report. You have created an integration. Now I'm running it. I as an user, I don't. I have no idea about Workday as such. I'm just an user. I run the integration without the date parameter. You bypassed it. But understand this. You are passing the date parameter here, right? If you are bypassing it here, then this date parameter will come as blank. Your report will not return the right data as of that particular date because the date is not. You are not passing the date. Bypassing it would be an option. What other option you can think of from your previous experience of this class? Think about it. You have used the tools. You just need to use your head to come up with the solution. Anyone else want to take a stab at it? Maybe a route to check if the report has a required date. We are getting close, but route is not the right answer. But your approach is correct. Should be an evil no, or just an evil. Yes, evil is being used too well. Yes, true, but a better option than evil. But yes, I'll take that. Evil is the right option. Inside evil, you can write code similar, for example, like this. I will show you. Like this. And if else, if clause in evil, you can do like if this is this, then do this. I was telling you that path phase example where a lot of information had to be, calculation had to be there based on the dates and all. Like if else clause you can do, but in this case, the best possible thing is after you can see my studio, right? After you do your workday start, right? Here in the workday start, you are gathering your launch parameters. In this eval, you are assigning the launch parameters to this property, right? Here, put in embed, put a validate expression similar to what you did here. Remember, if active equals to one failure, message right. You write a validate expression here. Write that if prop state is null, then do add a send error like this. add a put integration message and write in the put integration message, you just put it as an error or critical. Whatever critical will fill the integration. Or you can put an error and in the summary you can just put context dot error message, similar to what you did here. Remember this context dot error message and in your validate expression you will just write it through. That just to inform the user that you need to provide a launch parameter in order to run the integration. It's not a solution, it's a workaround, and it's a reasonable workaround, isn't it? Because you will be like handling the error message right in case the user does not enter the date exactly. But most of the times in real time scenarios, when you are actually consuming a report inside a studio, it won't be such a simple report which will have a prompt value like the default prompt, right? The delivered prompt. Most of the real time scenarios, you will have to pass the prompt value to the filter to churn out that specific data which you need, right? This kind of scenario will not come up, but it's just for your sake of understanding that this can happen. You learned about error logging, error handling. This is a way you can handle that error, got it? Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@uptalk.com.